Okay, how to chop fast mini course part 2. In the first part we discussed on several things like how to set up your kitchen to create a flow. We discussed about chopping techniques, the basic chop and the rolling chop. You need to have mastered this before we can move on, because in this next course what we're going to talk about is your support hand. How to support your ingredients, how to hold them, and how to cut safely so that way you don't end up cutting yourself. Way you can cut really consistently, uniformly, and super quick. So let's get on to it. The best way to support your support hand is what I like to call the bird beak. Well, that's because that's what I think it kind of looks like. There are different variations to this form, but we'll get into that more later. The main thing you need to get used to is to use the knuckles of your support hand to guide and feel your knife. This may seem against what you want to instinctively do because you probably want to keep your hand as far away as your knife as possible. But the reality is it's better to maintain contact with a knife so that way you would always know exactly what the knife is doing. And eventually you'll be able to cut without even looking. So to begin with, you need to first place your thumb on the chopping board and then form your fingers into like a beak. Notice that the thumb is behind the fingers. And then you need to adjust your fingers so that it's flat, with no bits of your hands that you don't want to cut off sticking out. And tips of your fingers are tucked in so your knife can be smoothly guided by your knuckles. You need to practice really slowly at first without any ingredients to get a real feel for it. And then once you bring your knife in, then you need to practice the two methods of chopping that we learned in part 1, which is the chopping and then the rolling chop. Use this without any ingredients and then we'll move on to the next step. The other way to form your hand is having it spread out like a claw. And what we're then doing is the same thing as what we were doing with the first form technique, but instead of using all your knuckles to support the knife, we're just using 1 or 2 knuckles to support the knife. That's why we're just sometimes using just our finger or the 2 front fingers to support the knife. These are made for things like smaller ingredients where you can't get your whole hand around. So now that you've learnt the 2 main ways of forming your support hand, which are the bird beak and the single double finger support. So the next thing you need to do is to practice these movements. Do it without any ingredients and just getting comfortable and being really good at holding your hand in that shape and being supporting with a knife. Start off super slow at first, do it really properly, and then slowly increase the speed when you feel comfortable. So just practice this, and in the next course we'll show you how to put it all together so then you'll be able to chop super fast and efficient. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you on our Facebook page at Home Cooking Coach, or you can email me directly to homecookingcoach.com. I'll see you in the next course. Bye.